Okay, can I sit down or? Yes. Yeah. Okay with that? Don't mind a bit of informality. Right. Okay. We are a cross-party, cross-pressure group supported group campaign, and that includes people from the Lib Dems, obviously, the Labour Party. We've just recently been invited to a meeting of West Dorset Labour Party, which is great because it means we're making some headway. The Green Party in North Dorset and the Green Party for Out Dorset supporters. There's my party, because I formed a new party with the Lib Dems called Citizen. We've got 200 members in Weymouth and Portland who are fully behind the Yes Vote campaign. Recently, in the last week, I've managed to charm the birds out of the trees and persuade the UKIP candidate in West Dorset, Oliver Chisholm, to actually join the core group. Now, sorry?
Are the BNP supporting the no vote?
They are.
What, along with Ben Clark and Harriet Harman?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Problems for the Yes Vote campaign. The first problem is apathy. A lot of people in the no vote campaign obviously think they barely need to get out of bed to win a no vote next year. Why? Because if you look at the last 3 general elections, millions of Britons haven't voted. So it's going to be very difficult to even win a marginal yes vote if most of the people in this country haven't voted on May the 5th next year. The second point is those who will vote, a lot of them, if they're not aware of what the AV system is, which Tim's going to explain to you fully in a minute, will basically go for the devil they know. They'll go for first past the post. They'll say the no vote campaign will use propaganda that basically AV is too complicated. But if you can fill in a football pools coupon, you can go to a ballot box and you can vote AV. So
the worst case scenario would be the no campaign winning, and we'd be right back to the drawing board, and everyone will, you know, the Conservatives and Labour who support no will say, you had your chance, the country didn't want it. That single fact is why I'm active in the AV campaign.
If we get a yes vote, a resounding yes vote, next year, then we'll be able to go on, hopefully agree a People's Convention as they had in Australia and Canada, and then go on to actually plump for a properly proportional, fair voting system. But it's not going to happen unless we get the yes vote. If we don't get the yes vote, we get a no vote, it will be dead in the water for the next 50 years. I see first past the post as being semi-feudal, going back to Thomas Hardy, the old Wessex, and basically if you're a semi-literate farm worker, I'm not being patronising, you put your mark by the choice, Conservative Party choice, of your landlord or your employer or the farmer you work for. That's what first past the post is.
As in 2005, which you all know, Labour got 55% of the MPs, even though 65% of the voters didn't want them there. Now this is madness. I mean, you know, and of course you know that we haven't, in recent years, since 1945, had any government, because once they're in government they have total control, total power. We call it opposition, and they make a noise, but they haven't got power. All right, because that's an argument that the people who want first past the post, they'll say we want a powerful government. What they mean is they want opposition diminished.
And the alternative vote, as you know, in that system, in North Dorset here, the MP, whoever he or she was, would have to gain 50% of the vote.
If you're a candidate that wants to get elected, you've got to be thinking about the people, not just your core voters, but the other ones. You've got to be thinking who might be putting you as second and third choice. So you've got to have wider appeal. Has to be good. Now, I did some very, very simple maths. I looked at the number of people who voted Conservative this year and the number of MPs they got, and I divided the one by the other in terms of millions. And so for every 1 million people that voted Conservative, they got 29 MPs, all right? Of course, because of these sort of boundary things, Labour got 30 MPs. For every million people that voted Labour, they got as many as 30 MPs. For every million people that voted Lib Dem, they got 8.
The electoral system is dire. We're not just being esoteric anoraks changing the electoral system, we're changing the political system itself to enable choice for the voter. So let's get out there and win a resounding yes vote.
I've had the privilege of working with Richard a bit in Fair Votes for Dorset, and I have to be, I'm really struck by his enthusiasm and the success of that campaign. It did steal a march on the rest of the country. It did, and I think it's a great organisation to belong to and work with, and I think it will be very successful.
And, you know, the message you want to get across is that AV gives you more choice, Mrs. Woman. It gives you more choice, and it makes it harder for the politicians to stitch things up.
Thank you all for listening, and I hope some of you, at least one or two of you, will join Fair Votes for Dorset before you go and face the blizzard. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.